Hi, it's Lucy here, and today I'm going to create a couple of cards using this gorgeous, uniquely creative kit called Hey Baby Girl. One card will be a congratulations card, and the other can be used for any congratulations occasion, as it doesn't have any baby items on it. It has lots of gorgeous papers and creative cuts in this collection, and apart from a couple of die cuts, that's all I'll be using is just paper. First, I'm going to sort out the creative cuts into separate piles, and I've taken out any that are for scrapbooking as they won't suit on my cards. Any banners and other shapes that may not say suitable things for cards, I have still put with the others as I can use them to double up the shape by gluing the two items together. I'll cut all these segments and keep the ones relative to card making, and I can use the other ones by turning them over and using the other side so there's no wastage. The front cover of the kit has lots of sentiments on the back side of it. It's a genius idea from Uniquely Creative so that there's no wastage whatsoever. And because I want to use them as thick embellishments, I'm going to add some double-sided tape to the back, and I'll add a piece of 250 GSM, which is thick white card, to it, and this will give them a lot of sturdiness to use as embellishments on the front. The other thing that you can do is mount the sentiments onto cardstock. You can find the 10 centimeter or 4-inch double-sided tape at scrapbook.com, and I have a link below in the description. So Uniquely Creative have these dies that easily cut out all the sentiments and banners at the same time, and I'll have links to them below as well as the kit. It's easy to align the die with the sentiment strips as it has two corners with cutouts and they match up with the markings on the sentiment page. I'll pop them through my Sizzix Big Shot Switch Plus machine, and I can press a button which makes it go in reverse so they get a double shot. It's not necessary usually, but because my paper is now very thick with the 2 plus the double-sided tape, I think it's a good idea to double down. I have the link to the machine in the description below as well for Americans. It is a great machine. My only negative on it would be it doesn't turn itself off automatically like my scan and cut does, but otherwise it's amazing and I'm so glad I invested in it. And if you're in Australia like me, you can find it in Spotlight. So I've chosen this gorgeous paper, so I'll die cut it, and I'm going to include the bottom strip. Again, another genius idea from Uniquely Creative so that there's no wastage on those bottom parts as well. And then I've chosen this green cardstock that I think complements the paper, and I'll die cut both out. I'll cut a thin strip of the cardstock to separate the bottom strip from the pattern paper. I'm using my glue pen and ruler as I need to be precise when it's such a thin strip. Another idea is to add double-sided tape to the back of it before cutting the strip. I've then butted it up against the ruler to ensure that it's straight as well. I'll add the paper to the cardstock using the double-sided tape, just taking one tape backing strip off. Then once secured, I'll take the other tape backings off. I find this the easiest way to adhere papers together. If I take all 3 tape backings off at the same time and put it on crooked, it's much more difficult to fix. I'm going to use these 2 banners. One doesn't have the right words for a card, so I'll still use the banner but underneath the other one so you can just see a little bit jutting out. I'll use some foam tape on the back of the flowers and I'll secure that to the card as well. This card came together really quickly and I like how it's turned out. I'll use one of the sentiments I don't think I'll use to give height to the congratulations sentiment too. The best thing about using them behind another is that they're all the exact same size when using that sentiment strip die, so they suit perfectly. And then this card is done. I've decided for this next card I'll use craft cardstock, and I think brown and pink are a lovely combination. So I've die cut the pink striped paper already, and I'm just going to cut a thin border of the craft card around it. And as you can see, I've made a right mess of the cutting, so it's going to be an even thinner border of craft paper now. I'm using some of the sections from the pattern paper that I chopped into sections earlier, and I'll mount them all onto craft paper too so that it's all cohesive. I think this bunny is sweet, so I'll fussy cut around it so there's no white border, and then I'll use my vintage photo distress oxide ink to lightly ink around the edges. I don't think it's really necessary, but I think it suits the card better with all the brown hints on the card. Okay, so now it's time to adhere everything down, or at least the first two pieces, so they don't move, and then I can work on what else I want to put on the card. I like this banner and bunny. I think they'll be perfect for the bottom of the card, so I'll fussy cut him out and ink around him, then glue him onto the banner. I'm going to cut one of the banners up that's not suitable wording for a card again. I'll cut it in half so it makes the banner even, as half of it will be overlapping on the checkered paper. And then I'll stick everything down. It's helpful when it's checkered paper like this to use as a grid to make sure everything is straight. I've used half foam tape and half glue on the bunny so that she sits straight on the card as well. And then I'm just adding this other little sentiment, and I still feel like it needs something in the center. So I'm having a look at this paper and I'm going to cut out the flower and also the ABC boxes. There were some tiny leaves with the flowers, so I decided just to cut them off completely. No one will know that they're missing, and they'd be more trouble than they're worth to try to fussy cut them. I cut the ABC cubes in half before I realised I preferred them in one piece, so I've taped them back and it really isn't noticeable, so it's all good. And then I'm just going to add the flower with foam tape, and this card is done also. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please give it a thumbs up if you did. And if you'd like to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel. Have a great day. Bye for now.